I in last class what we have studied? Last row. What was the topic for the previous class? Last row. What's your roll number? Yes. So previous class, if anybody knows about the latest today's class, he or she is allowed to come and present the lecture. If you are not, then please maintain silence. Okay? This is already very complicated topic, and how you will present your answer will make you clear first MBBS. Clear? So we are just trying to give a gist or just the content which you need to write in your paper. Okay? Previously, in previous class, we have done or talked something about basal ganglia. What were the parts of basal ganglia? Their functions and their applied aspect. Okay? I was not able to complete about the Huntington's disease, and I told you to just go through it. Have anybody seen or read about Huntington's disease? Huntington's disease related to basal ganglia. Yes or no? You have read? Because related to basal ganglia, two important things were done. One was Parkinsonism and another was Huntington's disease. Okay? We have talked about Parkinsonism, but we were left with Huntington's disease, and I told you just to go through it with Huntington's disease because you get short notes on either of them. Okay? And I had given you questions related to basal ganglia to write in your tutorial, notebook or register. Clear? Now, okay, today we'll try to complete limbic system. Okay, so limbic system, limbic means and why we call it as a system. Okay, system. Why we are calling it as a system? Limbic or limbus means a ring or a border. So it is a border, okay, between the basal part of the CNS and the cerebral cortex, okay, and it comprises of both the nucleus and the axonal fibers which connect it with each other. The most important function performed by the limbic system, okay, क्या होता है? Most important function performed by the limbic system. Emotions, correct? Yes? Okay. So previously it was considered or termed as rhinocephalon. Okay, the limbic system was called as rhinocephalon. Rhinocephalon was mainly concerned with the system or the function of olfaction. Okay, so it was considered that this was mainly responsible for olfaction or smell, but it was seen only in the lower animals that it was mainly responsible for olfaction. So in case of sexual drives in lower animals, it was the pheromones which were responsible for sexual drive. But in case of human beings, it is the minimum function done by the limbic system, that is the olfactory system. Okay, so we'll divide this limbic system into different segments. Okay, first is the functional anatomy of the limbic system. What are the different parts involved? What are the different circuits involved in the limbic system, and what are the different components responsible for their function? Okay, so if The central row is the limbic system. Some sensory stimulation, okay, will come through this. It has number of components, subcortical components, okay, and border-like structures which are present as limbic lobe, okay. So everybody is interconnected, okay. So you have a WhatsApp group, so everybody's phone is interconnected. So similarly, the limbic system in itself is interconnected. When it is interconnected, a scientist named Papez, okay, American scientist, he discovered it that there is some circuitry present in this structure, and that circuit become Papez circuit. वो बहुत पुराना था, उसके बाद में डिस्कवरी हुई, स्टडी हुई, और उसके बाद में एक नया पार्ट इन्वॉल्व हुआ, तो उसको न्यू पेपेज सर्किट के नाम से दिया गया, इन विच एमिगडाला वाज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड. तो लिम्बिक सिस्टम क्या है, लिम्बिक सिस्टम के फंक्शनल एनाटॉमिकल पार्ट्स क्या है, ठीक है, इसका अपने आप में इंटरकनेक्शंस क्या है, ये एक दूसरे से कनेक्टेड है, और फाइनली ये कैसे आउटपुट देते हैं. So for any visual sensitization, okay, emotion and motivational drive, it is not only emotion. She said the important function of limbic system is emotion, okay. It is not only emotion, it is also motivational drive, which is the main function of limbic system, okay. Anatomical correlation, it includes is the cingulate gyrus, septum, hippocampus, parahippocampus, mammillary bodies, amygdala, hypothalamus, anterior hypothalamic nuclei, and basal ganglia. Okay, when we talk of this, what are the different circuits present? These are the different circuits which are present. Okay, so limbic system involves in making not only emotions, motivational drive, short-term memory, converting this short-term memory into long-term memory, okay. When this memory is incorporated with some emotions, okay, so emotional memory, fight and flight, that is sympathetic and parasympathetic actions, okay. So the body is getting reward for itself or punish for itself. कोई एक्ट ऐसा होगा जिसमें कि बॉडी को प्लेजर मिलेगा, so that will become the rewarding center. कोई एक्शन या कोई इंसिडेंट ऐसा होगा जिसमें कि पनिश होगा, so that becomes the punishment center. तो ये केवल एक सिंगल न्यूक्लियस या सिंगल एक्सोनल फाइबर्स का रोल नहीं है, ये इंटरकनेक्टेड स्ट्रक्चर्स का रोल है, that will result into either the reward or either in the punishment. Okay, what do you mean by rage? What do you mean by rage? We hear this word very commonly. Uncontrolled anger. And how will you define anger? Hyperactive outburst. Okay. Aggression. See, anger is a minor part of rage, okay, and the bigger part of rage is aggression, okay. Rage is when we hear something कि road पे अपन चल रहे हैं, ठीक है, so due to some traffic, due to some jam, okay, uncontrolled traffic, there is common road rage, okay. You cannot control your emotions and outburst is there. In case of boys or males, what happens is there is an increase in the testosterone, so that results in the aggression. Clear mobile? Last green check shirt. Acha. Keep it away. Okay. So this is rage. Now what happens and how the emotional memory is formed, okay. Whenever a person sees for the first time, okay, a snake, a rhino, okay, anything, okay, which will create a feeling of fear. ठीक है, हमने फर्स्ट टाइम देखा तो हमारे कौन कौन से सेंसेशंस स्टिमुलेट हुए? I have a doubt. Yes. He shouldn't? नहीं, चलो कुछ भी फील नहीं हुआ, ठीक है, आपने कुछ भी फर्स्ट टाइम देखा सबको, ठीक है, तो आपने देखा, आपने सुना, तो आपके क्या क्या सेंसेशंस एक्टिवेट हुए, स्टिमुलेट हुए? क्या क्या स्पेशल सेंसेस हैं अपने पास में? विजन, स्मेल और हियरिंग. ओके, so all these sensations are carried by somatosensory areas. Okay, so it is not only the cerebral cortex which will control and which will define and decide that this is either the fear or the pleasurable thing. Okay, so this information has to be carried from cerebral cortex to the limbic system. Okay, from the limbic system is interconnected. Okay, so by their neurotransmitters, they will have the feeling whether the person is afraid of this, okay, or the pleasure is there. So this pleasure or fear, that is decided by the whole limbic system, and this whole limbic system is formed of certain subcortical structures and the structures which are forming a limbic lobe. Okay, and when this whole interconnected circuit is formed with the help of amygdala, it becomes the new Papez circuit. So you get a question exclusively on short note on Papez circuit. Okay, so some sensory informations are coming, some are getting modulated, and finally some output is there. Okay, so this is the function of limbic system. ये सारे experiments जो हैं limbic system में, ये किसके ऊपर हुए हैं? जितनी भी स्टडी हुई है ना, रेज, ओके, एंगर, एग्रेशन, ये किसके ऊपर हुई है? डॉग एंड कैट. The electrodes were placed in the particular area of limbic system, and their stimulation results in what type of reaction? So accordingly it was studied or it was done. Another term which will come across is sham rage. What do you mean by sham rage? Sham, S-H-A-M. Okay, this is limbic system. What are the structures involved? Is the thalamus, nucleus, especially the anterior nucleus of the thalamus, hypothalamus, amygdala, okay, hippocampus, basal ganglia ka part, corpus callosum and cerebrum. Okay, hippocampus is responsible for what function? So one by one we'll try to learn in short what are the different functions performed by each section and what happens if there is a lesion or transaction of that particular section. So what will happen to the patient or the subject? Emotion and motivation, which is responsible, which is formed by the hypothalamus and the limbic system. Okay, it forms a ring around the brain stem. Closed circuit, or the name is Papez circuit. How it is connected? By fornix to hippocampus to hypothalamus. Main function of hippocampus is memory. Okay, it will create memory. Okay, जो चीज आपकी अभी 2 मिनट पहले हुई है, ठीक है, और जो चीज सालों पहले हुई है ना, तो शॉर्ट मेमोरी और लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी, पर उसको क्रिएट करने का काम क्या है? हिप्पोकैम्पस का. ओके, तो अगर इसका कुछ ट्रांजैक्शन हो जाता है तो व्हाट इट इज गोइंग टू इफेक्ट इज योर मेमोरी. हर आपके कई चीजों के साथ में इमोशंस इन्वॉल्व होते हैं. द फर्स्ट टाइम यू गॉट टू सी योर रिजल्ट, ओके, द फर्स्ट टाइम यू वर सेलिब्रेटिंग समथिंग, तो हर चीज के साथ में एक इमोशन इन्वॉल्वमेंट हो जाता है और इमोशनल मेमोरी इन्वॉल्वमेंट हो जाती है. तो वो इमोशंस एंड मेमोरी किसकी वजह से हो रही है? बिकॉज ऑफ द इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ द लिम्बिक सिस्टम. एंड लिम्बिक सिस्टम में स्पेशली विच पार्ट? इट इज मेनली ब्रॉट अबाउट विद द हेल्प ऑफ हाइपोथैलेमस एंड hippocampus, but their internal circuit is well defined and well formed. Okay, we have different neurotransmitters which are getting secreted. कौन कौन से थे बेसल गैंग्लिया में न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर्स? हर्षित, what were the three main neurotransmitters present in basal ganglia? GABA, okay, ग्लूटामिन, ओके. चलो बैठो हर्षित, बहुत बोर हो रहे थे इसलिए मैंने कहा पूछूं कुछ. ओके, दिस इज लिम्बिक सिस्टम, इंक्लूड्स द लिम्बिक स्ट्रक्चर एज वेल एज द फाइबर ट्रैक्ट that connect them. Okay, prefrontal cortex, it has to be associated. Okay, then association cortex which will go to the cingulate gyrus. Okay, and from this it will come to hippocampus. Hippocampus role is related to memory. It will come to the mammillary body by mammillary tract. Okay, and from there to hypothalamus or anterior nucleus, okay, of the thalamus. And finally, what is the involvement is whenever you feel rage or whenever you feel pleasure. Okay, sympathetic divisions, we have two divisions, parasympathetic and sympathetic. Either you fright, okay, so sympathetic or parasympathetic. So whatever the action has to be done, so your skeletal muscle has to perform some function. Okay, so finally the signals, they have to be transmitted to the brain stem. Okay, so it was considered as rhinocephalon or old system because it was involving the brain stem. What is the main centers which are present in brain stem? ब्रेन स्टेम में मेन सेंटर्स कौन से प्रेजेंट होते हैं? हाँ सही है, बोलो, खड़े होके बोलो. Respiratory centers and cardiovascular centers. Okay, so these centers, they are mainly responsible for the survival of the species. Right from the human being it was present, right from the beginning. If it was not have been there, species would not have been there. So it is present right from the beginning. So it is a connection between the older structures involved in the brain formation and newer structure. So neocortex and old structure of the brain. So it forms a border. So it is known as limbic system. It forms a border. Okay. So that is why it is known as limbic system. So finally जो भी action होना है, that has to be taken through the brain stem. The message has to be conveyed through brain stem. Okay. बहुत boring हो रहा है, आप लोगों के फेस से लग रहा है, but we have to do it. Okay. So this is the डायरेक्शन और द फ्लो ऑफ द डोपामिन. ओके, जो भी न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर डोपामिन जहां जहां से रिलीज हो रहा है, ये उसका सर्किट है फॉर हाउ इट इज एक्टिंग. ओके, सो व्हाट दिस इज नॉरएड्रेनर्जिक न्यूरॉन्स व्हिच आर प्रेजेंट इन लिम्बिक सिस्टम. सेरोटोनिन, ओके, सेरोटोनिन. नाउ फंक्शंस, एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ इमोशंस लाइक रिवॉर्ड, punishment, rage, fear, fighting and satisfaction, learning and memory. Lateral hypothalamus is responsible for rage and fighting. This is MCQ question. Okay, ventromedial nucleus is responsible for satiety and tranquility. Periventricular nucleus of fear and punishment. So if there is lesion in the lateral hypothalamus, what will happen? If there is a lesion at the lateral hypothalamic nucleus, what will happen? No rage. आप कितना भी strong stimulus दे दो उसको, कोई rage, कोई anger उसका develop नहीं होगा. That is known as plasticity. So you have to connect its application. When you know the function, then only you can connect its function. Okay. Ventromedial nucleus is satiety and tranquility. So if this is the lesion site, what will happen? Continuous feeding. Hypothalamus is the center of limbic system. Just remember basic points. Okay. Hypothalamus is the center of limbic system and it is involved in homeostasis. Homeostasis में number of functions आते हैं. So some of the nucleus which are responsible for various functions is this. Then comes the periventricular nucleus which is responsible for fear and punishment. So if there is lesion, no fear. Clear? एक का लीजन हो रहा है, नो रेज. चाहे कितना भी आप स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टिमुलस दे दो, नो रेज. सेकंड का लीजन हो रहा है, कंटिन्यूअस फीडिंग. ओके. थर्ड का हो रहा है, नो फियर, नो टेरर, कोई डर नहीं, कुछ नहीं. ओके. Reward centers located along the course of medial forebrain bundle. Less potent reward reactions are seen by septum, amygdala. Hypothalamus तो करता ही है, पर उससे कम जो पार्ट इन्वॉल्व है वो है septum, amygdala, parts of thalamus, basal ganglia, and dopaminergic neurons play major role in reward reactions. So wherever there are reward reaction centers present, what will be the neurotransmitter? Dopamine. ठीक है. लिम्बिक सिस्टम का क्या फंक्शन है? नंबर ऑफ फंक्शंस है. रिवॉर्ड फंक्शंस, रिवॉर्ड के लिए कौन सा रिस्पॉन्सिबल है? मेनली हाइपोथैलेमस. ठीक है. अगर हाइपोथैलेमस के अलावा जो माइनर स्ट्रक्चर्स इन्वॉल्व है वो है, और जो मेन न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर है वो क्या है? डोपामिन. और इंटरनल सर्किट दे आर वेल कनेक्टेड एंड फॉर्म द पेपेज सर्किट और क्लोज सर्किट. This is punishment center. Okay, aqueduct of Sylvius के नियर जो grey matter है, that is responsible for the punishment center. Okay, periventricular zone of hypothalamus and some part of amygdala and hippocampus. Stimulation of punishment center leads to rage reaction, defense posture, claws extended. क्योंकि ये experiment किस पे हुआ था? Cats पे हुआ था या monkeys पे हुआ था? So these are the reactions which are seen. Piloerection. Okay. Dilated pupil. Reaction is suppressed by ventromedial nucleus of hypothalamus. Severing the cortical connections to the limbic system results in permanent rage, postures, and aggressiveness. Default? Yeah. But the minor part of the rage is anger. ठीक है. आपका पता है कि आपके पेरेंट्स ने अगर आपको डांटा है या कुछ बोला है, so that you are not going to have a rage reaction, because your memory has created that this has to be not in the form of rage. You are not always in the rage. But what happens after the age of adolescence? The testosterone hormone gets released. So this special type of rage with parents is also seen in teenagers. Other than this, there is a memory created, good memory with parents, with teachers, okay, with your friends. So you don't create a rage. अगर आपका friend भी कुछ कह देगा तो आप उसको एकदम से anger या aggression या उस form में नहीं आओगे. आपकी एक memory create हो गई क्योंकि एक emotional connect हो चुका है. पर अगर कोई और third person आपको कुछ बोल देगा तो उसी पॉइंट पे आपका रिएक्शन जो आएगा वो रेज आएगा. और रेज से भी बढ़ के हो सकता है कि वो एग्रेशन या एग्रेसिव हो जाए. ओके. और अगर इन न्यूक्लियस का बैलेंस गड़बड़ा गया तो देयर विल बी प्रॉब्लम. ईदर द पर्सन विल हैव टू मच ऑफ रेज और द रेज विल बी लॉस्ट. So both are pathological conditions. Okay. Amygdala is very important. Where it is present? कहाँ प्रेजेंट होता है? एमिग्डाला की पोजीशन क्या होती है? कहाँ प्रेजेंट होता है? हाइपोथैलेमस के, मैंने इसलिए पूछा क्योंकि अपने इसमें बेसल गैंग्लिया में इसको पढ़ा था. कॉर्डेट न्यूक्लियस क्या था उसमें? What was the structure of caudate nucleus? Caudate starts with C shape. What were the parts of caudate nucleus? Caudate nucleus एक्सटर्ना इंटरना तो ग्लोबस पैलिडिस का था बच्चे. Caudate nucleus was having head, tail. तो जब caudate nucleus के tail के end portion पे is present amygdaloid. Okay, that is the position of amygdala, but इसकी important यहाँ पे बहुत important है. That is responsible for motivational and emotional drive. Okay. So the structure is very small, but these cluster of small cell bodies nucleus which are present in limbic system have major effect on your emotions and memory. Okay, some lesions may result into loss of the memory जो कि होती है ना प्रेजेंट. शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी लॉस हो जाएगी, लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी रहेगी. आप ओल्ड एज के मतलब सीनियर सिटीजन या ओल्ड एज में देखोगे तो ये न्यूरोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम्स बहुत कॉमनली देखने को मिलती है कि किस तरह का मेमोरी लॉस हो रहा है, किस तरह का गेट लॉस हो रहा है, किस तरह की उनकी मस्कुलर एक्टिविटी इफेक्ट हो रही है. सो यू हैव टू हैव द आइडिया, बेसिक आइडिया ऑफ द स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शंस. सो व्हाट वी आस्क इन फिजियोलॉजी इज enumerate the parts of the limbic system, write down their functions and add a note on particular syndrome or particular disease. Clear? Amygdala complex of multiple nuclei. Okay, it is a complex made up of nuclei, reciprocal connection with hypothalamus and all parts of limbic system, reciprocal relation with hypothalamus, hippocampus, okay, mammillary body, fornix, all the different parts of the limbic system. So it has a reciprocal relation with all of them, receive signals from the auditory and visual association area or the neocortex. Stimulation causes change in the arterial pressure, heart rate, GI motility. तो ये अपने को कब देखने को मिलते हैं सारे चेंजेस? Autonomic nervous system. So whenever there is stimulation of amygdala, what will happen? The peripheral nervous system will also get affected. Somatic nervous system will also get affected. What is cognition? कॉग्निशन, कोनेशन, मेमोरी. ओके, ये सब इसके अंदर बहुत डिटेल में आएगा. तो जस्ट थोड़ा सा इसको फोकस रखना कि तुम्हारी शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी कितनी है और लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी कितनी है. अपनी लास्ट क्लास फ्राइडे को ही थी, ठीक है. आज ट्यूसडे है. नेक्स्ट क्लास तक हाउ मच यू कैन रिकॉल. ओके, सो इट विल बी मोर देन 5-7 days. So it will be a long term memory. So how is your long term memory? We'll recall in next class. Okay. So limbic system stimulation causes change in arterial pressure because it was involving brainstem. If you remember, GI motility and secretion, okay, defecation, micturiation, pupil dilation, piloerection and release of gonadotropins. Some nuclear stimulation causes pattern of rage reaction, escape punishment and severe pain, fear. Other may cause reaction of reward, sexual activities, mating behavior, ejaculation, ovulation, all these, okay, they come under functions of limbic system, because what we are calling it is a reward, punishment, pleasure, okay, happiness, all these things, they are what? Emotions, and these emotions, they are controlled by limbic system. Bilateral removal of amygdala causes what all things? This is very important. Kluver-Bucy syndrome. Okay, Kluver-Bucy syndrome. What are the features in this? इसके अंदर पर्सन के अंदर हो जाती है हाइपर ओरलिटी. Whatever the object comes, the person takes to take in the mouth. Hyper orality. कोई भी चीज हाथ में आएगी उसको मुंह में लेना, ठीक है. This is hyper orality. Not afraid of anything. All the fear has gone. Okay. Extreme curiosity. Forgets rapidly. Oral tendency means hyper orality. and strong sexual desire. This is neuroplasticity. Okay. Limbic system functions as brain reward system, aggression, sexual activity, and memory and learning. Short-term memory is product of working memory, prefrontal cortex, and long-term involves the limbic system. Components of the limbic system is amygdaloid body. Though the structure is very small, but it has a important function. Hippocampus. Okay, hippocampus क्या होता है? Hippocampus sea horse. Okay, तो sea horse को हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? Memorize. So hippocampus is responsible for memory. Okay, cingulate gyrus, it connects. Okay, parahippocampal gyrus is a part of limbic lobe. Hypothalamus is a part of subcortical structure. Mammillary body is a part of subcortical structure. Anterior nucleus of thalamus is a part of subcortical structure. Okay, so limbic system is over. I'll just take your attendance and you are free. Okay.